Hi everyone. So today let us practice one of the behavioral questions. So yes, this is the behavioral one. I have done this. Can you talk to me about the design? I have done this. This also we have practiced. So let us take. Let us take a random question. Not random. I have been asked in my recent interview. So the question was, tell me a time when you had to work with work with development team, and there was conflict regarding certain features or process. So generally, so I'm just taking here any of this, but I will solve these questions. I'm just taking this PMQ level of the framework. Then I hope this is visible. I have zoomed in. Okay, I had opened something else. Yes. So I will just describe the situation. I have faced multiple instances where there were conflicts with uh, the development team regarding any features. There have been multiple instances. One situation I would like to describe at this moment while working at one of the modules of HRM. So as you know that I was the product owner for the two of the modules for a HRMS product that we were building, leave management and performance review module. So while working on it, the situation came up was how do we how do we include the technical team in all this stuff, and how long or how quick. So it was actually a process challenge that I had faced, and the process challenge was that since we were still in the discovery phase of it, I was still trying to understand the requirements, sitting with SMEs on one to one, trying to have a discovery sessions. So we were into a pod-like structure. Each pod contained a member from design, from product, and from a technical team. And someone from any one of the team was leading the pod leader. And the criteria for leading a pod was basically how long their past work experience and relative work experience of the member of the pod. So my argument or the situation was that since this was a very lengthy uh, 1.5 years program implementation and development was going on to take place. This was a very big product software application for around 50 to 60,000 of employees of a government organization. So the discovery process has to be discovery just had to be thorough, and the requirements for features committed. So our goal was this: the discovery process has to be very thorough, very understanding, very clear, and the requirements or features that we were committing to the client has to be feasible, and therein required the input of the technical team. So with the architect or the technical team, I was with the view I was with the view that technical team input should be included from the start. Or my view was that I was doing discovery sessions or sitting discussing, I was my view was that we do a workshop session. I do a weekly workshop session with the technical team and explain or discuss what I have gathered, what I have gathered in the current week, and get their input, get their input, and see if you are not overcommitting, or including get their input on the features, on the features, and the so that we are on the right side of technical feasibility, and there is no any conflict going forward, technical conflict or challenges going forward. But the issue was that we had a limited resource at the location where we were discussing with the client. So that proved to be a challenging one, because since it was a starting phase of a product uh, development, and this was a discovery phase, and there were very limited technical resources available, and those technical person, those who were present at the client location, they were mostly at a senior stage. So involving them or asking them to be part of workshop and including them, that was not actually feasible, because they were not the one who were going to make the actual development. They were not going to. So the development team that was going to do the actual development, so they had to be part of this workshop. They had to understand what was their exact requirement during this. Although they were part of the virtual session overall process, the walkthrough sessions that we did, everything, but they were not part of this one-to-one discussion with the functional team. So what I did was I conducted virtual sessions with the development team related to my modules. The team which was going to work on my module related, all that. So I conducted virtual session. It was a weekly virtual session, and to the what was a senior technical team present at the, I provided them a I provided them just a overview, a brief overview of what has been happening in the week, in the product side, in the functional side, product functional side update. Also did a small write-up, and that was shared through email, and I shared that with all the team, on the product team, the group we had, the development team. and this proved to be quite useful as we began as we started the development. This reduced the time which I saw the other module owners were spending on the requirement clarification, because that was one of the core challenges at the starting of the project. So you get the clarification what is the exact requirement, and the stories, user story, acceptance criteria, or data points, or data source related to it. I think that reduced around 40 to 45% of my time. That gave me ample time on to focus on the other topics or on the next set of features on the we are going to launch in the phase two. So that was the result. And second was that this also built this also built a good team understanding. Now this is a very qualitative term, the good team understanding. But if I were to qualify or quantify this, it meant that the time we spent once the development process began, the sprint that usually takes the stand-up calls that happens. So you know the person or the owner who is part of the owner of these requirements is very clear with it, or they will be providing the explanation whenever they are available. So that also helps in a long-term collaboration when working with the development team. So if I were to just rewind, the situation was that I was working on these two modules, and there were very little technical or actual development team that was actually present on the location. So I wanted to uh, include them in the initial process for a weekly call, explaining them what are common requirements for the discovery process that was going on, so that I can get their input and the conflicts or the challenges regarding technical things do not become a bottleneck or roadblock in our upcoming phases. And this became quite useful as I reduced my requirement clarification time or for around 40 to 45%. And I also launched gave a brief product overview or a function overview to senior technical team for a week, weekly newsletter or an email kind of thing. And this built a good team rapport with the development team when things move into development stage or QA stage. So that was the that would be all how I would describe. I am trying to be more little more uh, say, fluent or more trying to present this in a more impactful way. And for that, I have to write more stories around the experiences that I have. So in the next videos that I will share, maybe I will be more able to prepare this or present this better. So that is all. And I'm looking forward to any of the comments or feedback that we have. Okay, that's all.